Yeah. Yeah.
You made an important distinction there because with, like you mentioned, the failures or with the mistakes, but with failures too, sometimes we have this erroneous view that this mistake, this failure, I'm going totally backwards, but it seems like that's actually on the path to getting better.
100%. Yeah, and it's hard to see that in the moment. I mean, it feels to you like you're moving backwards, but in actuality, right, you're actually learning things that become like the seeds that are going to kind of be part of the growth in the future. It's hard to see that in the moment. I mean, and I'm not saying that stuff has to feel good, but when you can start to change your perspective on the failures, the setbacks, the mistakes, right, and you have a more accurate understanding of what they are. And it doesn't mean that, all right, so let's say a failure is, you just took a 40% hit drawdown because you got overconfident and you put on too many positions, got too big, market change, you didn't really see it, and took a huge hit to your account, right? That can feel like a big failure, especially at a time where maybe you're trying to size up and expand yourself. And so how do we interpret that differently? Well, why did it happen, right? It wasn't random, right? And I gave an example which was pretty clear. We're saying the overconfidence is the problem here. And I would say that for a lot of traders, overconfidence is kind of a hidden thing. It's hard to see. You don't want to see it.
Right.
We want to feel good, especially when things are going well. But sometimes, right, those big drawdowns, can come on the heels of overconfidence. So, but regardless of why it happened, right, failures aren't random, right? They happen for predictable reasons. We just don't always see the predictability, until they happen. I'll give you kind of like an esport story because it's a pretty clear one.
Okay.
This is in a game called Counter-Strike. It's a kind of a 5v5 first person shooting game.
Okay.
And basically this is kind of one of the big three games in terms of the ecosystem. There are guys making $30,000-$40,000 a month as a salary plus bonuses in terms of prize money with these tournaments.
That's incredible.
So Team Liquid is the team that I was working with, and their Counter-Strike team was at this point, kind of top 5 in the world. And what was happening was in these final, so a lot of these tournaments are, let's say it starts with 16 teams. There'll be like kind of a group stage, and then it'll turn into a bracket.
Okay.
I think in 2018 we might have lost like 8 or 9 times in grand finals. And we're talking, pretty lopsided, like 400K for first place, 150 for second.
Oh, wow.
100K for first place, 35 for second.
That hurts.
Yeah, it hurts. I mean, it's not just in the pocket, but, they're competitors. And, and a lot of the times we were losing to this one team. So on the outside, we looked like chokers. And a lot of the community kind of viewed us that way. On the inside, we were failing forward. Every single time we lost, it happened for a reason. There was something else we learned. And by the start of 2019, we went through an exercise where we were able to kind of systematize all that we had learned from all those failures and put it into a single document. It was pretty damn robust. And when we looked at it, it was like, yeah, like we are not who other people think we are. And soon after that, they won 5 tournaments in a row. And there was like a bonus because we won 5 like massive tournaments, and we won something called the Intel Grand Slam, which was $1 million bonus, and had only been done previously once, and we did it, faster than anybody had done before, basically just like winning it kind of in sequential tournaments. So my point in saying all this is, here, on the outside, right, it can feel like the failures are permanent. It can feel like you're always going to be stuck at this level. But when you really do your due diligence to look at why it happened, if you're doing your job well, you're failing forward, and there's a